When you go out and score 55 points and your team loses and you haven't averaged under 20 points per game since your rookie season, and your game is constantly and consistently elevating, but there is no ring in sight, is it time to start having conversations about moving on? What's up, everybody, and thanks for checking in with us once again here at The Fumble. I'm your host, Jackie Ray. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and if you're so inclined, head on over to Instagram and follow me at JRayTheFanatic. Okay, shameless plug time. If you're watching Challenge Accepted right here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, then you know that I said I think Damian Lillard needs to consider moving on from Portland. Sure, he has said that he doesn't want to leave Portland, ever. And if him saying that loud and clear wasn't enough, the fact that he has signed not one, but 2 extensions with the Trailblazers should certainly be an indication. His most recent deal is a 4-year, $196 million deal that keeps him tied to Portland through 2024. I do not care. Dame will be 31 on July 15th. No, that's not old, but in basketball years, he's no spring chicken. So now, contract or no, you need to start thinking about what it would take to win a ring. Because if you don't have aspiration to win at least one, then what are you doing this for? Of course, Dame Dollar says he does have those aspirations. He said, quote, "I can't express my desire and how bad I want to win it. I want that more than anything. Not just to say I want a championship, but I want to do it in this city. I want to have a parade on Broadway and ride past El Gacho." That's what I think of. Every time the playoffs is starting, I'm going into it like, is this going to be the year that we shock the world or that we come up big? I get that. I really do. And even though I have no dog in this race, I really want this for Rip City. But I want it more for Dame. Sorry, fan base. But I can admit that it will take a lot for Dame to leave. First, Dame is a family man, and I don't think he's going to uproot his family. I don't think that's appealing to him. And I doubt he will pull a Chris Paul where he goes to one city while his family is in another. I just don't know if winning a ring is more important to him than the life he has already built in Portland. Don't get me wrong at all, guys. That is commendable, believe me, because we live in more of a dog-eat-dog world where it's every man for himself. So if Dame wants to put his family, his city, his personal desires to win in that city, a place that he calls home, I think that's very commendable. I just think winning a championship is very hard, and sometimes sacrifices have to be made to do it. But then again, maybe it's not Dame that needs to make the big sacrifice or to try to force a trade. Maybe the Trailblazers need to take a step back, take a look at what they have, and figure out a way to make it better. Because the truth is, Dame has a point. Back in March, Dame acknowledged all the conversations that circle the media about him needing to leave to win. And he made a great point when he said, quote, "If you take that step and it's not what it seems to be and it does not work out or an injury happens and you haven't established as much of a rapport with that team and they choose one guy over the next guy and now you're traded to a third team, things fall apart. That may never happen, but it's just a lot of things you can't control. You got to consider both sides, but for me, it would have to come down to my team saying, look, we're going in a different direction and we don't want to hold you hostage. Basically, and what route do you want to go?" So basically, the Trailblazers would have to say, you know what, this isn't working for you. And if you want to leave, we'll let you go. But that still does not change Dame's point. Russell Westbrook, he wanted a trade long before Paul George did, but PG beat him to the punch. Back in 2019, Rose reported that Westbrook wanted out of OKC, and the Pistons, Heat, Knicks, and Timberwolves were all potential landing spots. We know how that went, and to be honest, I thought Russ back with James Harden, I thought that would work. But at the end of the day, both wanted out of Houston, so Russ was once again on the move, which pretty much solidifies Dame's point. If you want to trade, you might get the James Harden effect and go where you want, and even if you do, there's no way to really know if that's going to work. I do know if the Lakers had Dame, the Suns get swept, and now we have a legitimate chance to run it back instead of Mr. Glass being wheeled into another MRI, but that is a story for another day. What we want for Dame is pointless. He has made his terms clear. The Trailblazers would have to come to him and say, you know what, if you want to leave, we'll let you go. They're not going to do that. So the real question becomes, what can they do to not have a disappointing season after season after season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Once again, I'm Jackie Ray. Thanks for watching The Fumble, and we'll see you next time.